Time now for the morning rush. The state district court judge who became the target of threats after her ruling to release the Amalia compound suspect says she will retire next month. Judge Sarah Backus of Taos also released a statement to the Journal saying, quote, "I appreciate their support and confidence in me, especially after my controversial ruling last August. The Amalia compound case consisted of 5 adults being charged after 11 children were found malnourished at the site, and the body of a missing 3-year-old boy was found buried at the compound. Judge Backus ruled to release them, saying the state failed to prove their case. Kristen.
Increasing cloud cover out over central and southern New Mexico today. Even some rain chances filling in over the southern counties later this afternoon. A better chance for a slight shower here in Albuquerque. Looking to see better coverage of the rain and even high mountain snow once we transition towards late Thursday and Friday. David?
The president is set to meet with Democratic congressional leaders today. This after President Trump used an Oval Office address last night to frame the fight for a border wall as a, quote, crisis of the heart and soul. Now, the president blamed Democrats for the partial government shutdown that is now in its 19th day. Mr. Trump also repeated the White House's demand for $5.7 billion to fund the wall along the Mexican border.
This morning, some drivers warning others, saying someone is intentionally putting huge rocks in the middle of Paseo del Norte. Volcanic rocks from the sides of a softball to basketball landscaped the area. Sunday night, around a dozen of those rocks were in the roadway between Kimmick and Golf Course, causing damage and wrecks. Responding officers believe the rocks were intentionally placed or thrown onto the road.
New surveillance video this morning shows the moments that police say 2 juveniles are accused of pulling out guns and carjacking 2 people. Police say it happened yesterday near Unser and Irving. Home surveillance video shows a white car come to a stop. Seconds later, another car pulls ahead. 2 people get out of that car with their faces covered, and then one pulls out what appears to be a gun. Police say after the suspects got away in the white car, they led police on a short chase and ended up crashing on Unser near Montano.
Santa Fe County deputies asking for your help this morning, finding an Albuquerque man they say is missing and could be in danger. 27-year-old Marshall Naranjo was last seen on December 28th visiting family in Pojoaque. Deputies say he was waiting at Buffalo Thunder Resort for a ride to Santa Fe and was expected to head back to Albuquerque. He has not been heard or seen from since.
Albuquerque police say a driver could be charged for a crash that killed a 15-year-old girl. Police are trying to find out who may be at fault. Police say 3 cars crashed on Monday night near Coors Montano. A white Hyundai was stopped behind a bus dropping off passengers when a truck rear-ended it. Now, a 15-year-old girl later died from her injuries at the hospital. Meanwhile, police are trying to determine whether the truck driver was at fault and whether or not they will face charges.
Navajo Nation is one step closer to getting its first medical examiner's office. President Russell Begay's office says in a statement he has approved plans for the new office. It will fall under the oversight of the Navajo Nation's Division of Public Safety. The new department will be responsible for investigating deaths. The plan must still be signed by the Navajo Nation Council's Law and Order Committee. Kristen.
Metro Threat Index down to a 2 for today. Looking at increasing cloud cover through the afternoon, but that's not necessarily going to hurt us. It's going to be those cold temperatures out there now with temps near freezing at the hour, but warming to those upper 40s later today. Crystal?
Local breweries are feeling the impact of the government shutdown. A federal agency that has to approve new labels and formulas for beer is now closed. Many local companies must go through an approval process with the Tax and Trade Bureau for any beer that's shipped. Those approvals stopped with the shutdown, which means no out-of-state business for New Mexico brewers. La Cumbre alone ships 300 cases of beer a week to other states. They say they could lose anywhere between $10,000 to $30,000 a month.
Happening today, ground will be broken on what officials are rather calling a major hub of economic development for New Mexico. Over 300 acres in the South Valley will be transformed into the Sunport South Business Park. This has everything from warehousing to manufacturing, or eventually will actually. Sunport South Business Park could be ready as soon as 2020. It could bring in about $900 million in economic growth over the next 30 years. The groundbreaking is scheduled to take place this afternoon at 1 p.m. Kristen.
Time now for a check on that Wednesday morning commute. Looking at the map right now, there's no major crashes or accidents to tell you about. And looking at the Big Eye, looking pretty good at this hour. Not anything that I would worry about just yet, but we'll keep eyes on this for you throughout the day.
A Tennessee fisherwoman is getting a lot of attention this morning for making a big catch. Take a look right here. Paula Kathy Smith was fishing on Kentucky Lake near Nashville when she caught this 88-pound catfish. Smith can be seen reeling in the enormous fish and weighing it. Then, with the help of a man on the boat, the two struggled to carry the fish. Smith is calling this a personal best and even made sure to snap a few pics before releasing it back into the lake.
Wow, that's a huge fish story.
Just in case nobody believed her, she's like, here's the picture.
Taking you back 10 years ago on this day, y'all reached a high of 89 degrees out there in Lee County. That was over 15 degrees warmer than average for them, and it actually set the record for the highest max temp they've seen on record for the month of January. Again, 89 degrees in January is just crazy to me, but that happened on this day 10 years ago. Facts.
At number 5 this morning, a local woman is selling paper made from green chili. Bridget Odine says that she was curious about the roasting process when a roaster offered her some of the flaked off skin. She decided to make paper with it.
Interesting. Number 4 now, some drivers warning others, saying someone is intentionally putting huge rocks in the middle of Paseo del Norte. Thousands of volcanic rocks from the size of a softball to basketball are being used to landscape the area. Sunday night, around a dozen of those rocks were in the roadway between Kimmick and Golf Course, causing damage and even wrecks. Responding officers believe the rocks were intentionally placed or thrown onto the road.
At number 3, looking at temperatures in the 40s today, which is pretty close to yesterday. The big focus will be the rain chances coming in over southern New Mexico today and tomorrow. Albuquerque, a slight chance for a shower tomorrow afternoon. Better chances come in Sunday with the second storm system. Temperatures, however, remain near average.
At number 2 this morning, we are entering day 19 of the partial government shutdown. President Trump is set to meet with congressional leaders of both parties. That's today at the White House. This comes after addressing the nation last night, where he urged Democrats to support funding needed to build the controversial wall. The president called the situation at the U.S.-Mexico border a humanitarian crisis, but fell short of calling it a, quote, national emergency. In a rebuttal, Democrats urged the president to reopen the government while they debate the border security.
Number 1 now, and new this morning, the state district court judge who became the target of threats after her ruling to release the Amalia compound suspects says she will retire next month. Judge Sarah Backus of Taos also released a statement to the Journal saying, quote, I appreciate their support and confidence in me, especially after my controversial ruling last August. The Amalia compound case consisted of 5 adults being charged after 11 children were found malnourished at the site, and the body of a missing 3-year-old Georgia boy was found buried at the compound. Prosecutors asked to keep the adults detained. Judge Backus ruled to release them, saying the state failed to prove their case. The case later moved to federal court, where all the suspects remain in federal custody this morning. If you want to see more on that case, go to our website. That's always on KRQE.com.